Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for 86, episode 18. Last time on 86 was a little bit of a while ago and I'm really sorry about that. There were reasons for it. It doesn't matter that much at this point. We're here now and that's what's important. Last time on 86, which was a little while ago, and I am sorry for that. Lena is killed, or at least we have no reason to believe that she's anything but dead, except that I know how stories work and I'm pretty sure she's fine. But we'll see how that happened. Probably got a few episodes before we're gonna find out anything on that front, because we have a mission to accomplish. Sheen and the rest of the 86u have been sent by the Federacy to perform another suicide mission. They're back in their comfort zone, honestly, being sent out in tin cans that get destroyed really easily to accomplish a desperate gambit in order to destroy a really big gun that has strategic value to the Legion. This is fun and pretty cool. We are back on the road, I think. I think we will be getting there at least, or heading in that direction. And we'll have our new Fido with us. We'll have the not juggernauts, the new things. And we'll be off to do our job and hopefully not die along the way. There are probably some obstacles between us and that thing. One of them is probably Kyria, probably that boy who Frederica knows, and yeah. We'll see how that plays out as it plays out, and we'll see what happens to Shin's mental state, because his mental state right now has not been good. In our last episode, Shin received a letter from a girl. I guess it was actually technically he received the letter the episode before that. We just saw it in this episode, so it was explained to us. That was very resentful and very hurtful and painful. And he is not doing great. So we'll see what kinds of things he gets up to now that he has no reason to live because Lena's gone, and also no reason to live because the other folks have all been given a memorial, and that's pretty good. So, what's he got to keep on going for is a bit of a question. And will he do something stupid like, a one-man suicidal attack in order to fulfill his death wish? I don't know, but probably. He'll probably. He's done it before. He'll probably do it again. We'll see. Now, our squad is heading out, and that's all I got. That's all I got here at the beginning for 86. So, let's give episode 18 a watch. I've got episode 18 up and ready to go. I'm using the Vita Winter subs, as I have before. You'll see a comment by Vita somewhere in the comments section letting you know what was changed in these subtitles. And you can also find those subs by clicking on Vita's profile and going to their About section, and they're all linked in there in a Google Drive. So if you want the good subs, you can go and get them from there. And that's it. Let's get into it. So, 86 episode 18, two versions, picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, beep beep timer to count you down. Let's get into it. I missed. Okay, bunch of folks down there. Looks like a bunch of expendable people. Right. You mean to get rid of the 86s? Oh, okay. This isn't a purge. But that's not this. Okay. Okay. Principles forbid it. No. Shelter the... Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And monsters are useful. Okay. Oh, so that makes sense as a conversation. See, it makes sense as something that he would bring up. And an additional reason to fear them. Or resent them, or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, so he'll be in our way on the rail track, which is where the Morpho will be. That makes sense. I want to know about the others, the other 5 that were chosen. Because they all look like bad dudes. They were scarred up and fucked up as shit. Okay. Clever. Jaganoto. I like that line. Yes, but they had that chance, right? And they chose to live on the battlefield, as she says. Okay. Okay. But will they live that long, is the problem. Right, well, we'll get that story later. Her squad and somebody she loved. Interesting. Good intrigue. Something cooler? Something cooler. It's a rocket. They're just gonna launch them. Whee! Just a juggernaut being catapulted. Fling! Hold the sealed door. Tut tut tut. What will it be? It'll be a giant mecha. 5 ragged leaves come together and henshin into a giant mega mecha. No. A prototype plane? Oh, that's fun. I like that shot. Sense of scale. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Sick. Sick. Yeah, I've never heard that either. Oh, okay. That makes that understands why it's so. That makes sense. As, yeah, why it's so big and bulky. Using the compression of air underneath instead of just the Bernoulli effect. Yeah. Yeah. Eh. Rises from its grave. A. And no buildings. What about trees or stumps or rocks? Just smash them. Mm. Mm. That's a rad idea. Yeah. They're not planning to get back, Frederica. We all know it. Can't ignore that dragon. It'll fly. She will. Got it. Who do you think? Guys, I'm literally a pilot. Oh, sad girl gonna lose her new friend in the same way she lost the last one. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, of course not. Then act like it. Oh, I see. Never mind. She doesn't want exceptions. This whole episode has been back and forth with the lines. Quality stuff. Curious. Oh. She doesn't want you to die. Doesn't want you dead. This is nice. Still a child. Hmm. Hmm. The little piece. Oh, she's got him there. Look, I don't like her voice, but her voice actress is going off. So, amazing. Hmm. That was a hell of a scene. Hey, it got a paint job. Yeah, I was about to say it was less an agree and more of a couldn't help it. Ah, it's rough. Rough. All right, we're going. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Beep, boop, boop. Thank you, R2. What is it? I forget it. We may have been told what that is, but I don't remember. 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm sure that the Eintagsfliege are hell for flying objects. I like this track. Mm-hmm. Same conversation. Fair enough, Greta. One does, the little girl. Oh, hi. Hello. You gonna be communicating with us during our entire mission? Ah, can you not? No, it makes sense. It makes sense. Great. No pressure. No No pressure at all. Just all of humanity is relying on us. Great, great, great. Great, cool. Come on, I want to see this thing fly. Stay alive. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll see, man. Yeah, we'll see, man. I don't know about that. Yeah, we'll see, man. I'd love to believe. I'd love to believe, but I think we're gonna lose Raiden. At least. He's the best friend guy. I think we're gonna lose at least one. That's my bet. You wanna take bets? Oh, shit. What is this? What? Where did that come from, my guy? Squads and squads and squads. And begin to the distraction. But really, this is clearing the path. Hmm. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! They actually timed it correctly. Are we gonna get a teaser of like something how they awaken and just in time? Oh boy. Yes, I want to see it fly. Oh, we gotta get it up to speed. That's why they're gonna be doing this. Zoom zoom. We got a zoom zoom path. It's pretty rad. Mmm. Let's go. I've been waiting for this the whole episode. You better nail it. You're clunk. Alright, they nailed it. That's rad. Oh, will it fly though? Clunk. Yes. It's great though. You know that the answer is yes. Oh, and we're going. 9 minutes. 10 kilometers a minute. 600 kilometers an hour. What the fuck? Wow, that is rad. It took a second for the idea of this frame to sink in. It's a suicide mission there and a suicide mission here. It's getting there. Oh, save us all. I like that moment. Hello. Hello. Wow, we're just gonna hold it? Ah, yeah, alright. If there's something worth... Oh, something happened to the font. Special edition. If there's something worth dying for. Hold on. Okay, it looks like there was a filler episode in between. And that episode 19 itself is the actual episode 19, so we're all set and ready to go. This is mostly a setup episode. However, it is chock full of interesting dialogues between characters. That said, I think the dialogues between characters are not the most complicated in terms of stuff that needs to be unpacked. I think they make a lot of sense from the perspectives of each individual, and I don't have much stuff that I have trouble with here. But I'm still going to go through them because there were a lot of bomb lines. This isn't a year-late attempt at a disinfection, is it? You're not just trying to get rid of all of them, are you? Really interesting idea coming from the president of the Federacy. I don't believe that it is. I think we've had, people walking around and talking about the reasons for doing this in particular ways throughout this thing, but like to have that as a reservation makes a lot of sense to me. I think that they're the only ones who can do it is really the true answer. It's the accurate actual answer is that there's nobody else who they can possibly hope will do this. I will say I find it interesting and funny that we see the squad just below them, the 5 members who are also going on this mission. We haven't seen any of them. We haven't seen any of them, not even a little bit, not even once. I also find it really interesting. I feel like at least 2 of these characters are just straight up characters from a different show. This guy on the far right, both of them look like Full Metal Alchemist characters to me. This guy on the far right looks like Mr. Clappy Hands. Kimbley. Solf J. Kimbley. That guy. Looks like Kimbley to me. And then this guy on the far left looks like what's his face? Mr. De-alchemization. Scar. Well, I should have realized. It looks so much like Scar. With the white hair and it's a different scar on his face, of course, but yeah, it just was a weird moment for me. Anyway, irrelevant, utterly irrelevant. However, this nation is built on justice. It's not acceptable for a human to try to have his way using violence rather than using words. I love it as an idealist perspective on a democratic egalitarian nation. Solid perspective. And we get these intimidating scenes from him where he puts somebody on the spot and really gets intimidating, which is pretty great. And his voice actor is great at doing it as well. I do want to see this line from this guy. They're not poor, pitiful children. They're monsters created by the madness of the battlefield. Are you willing to take them into your beloved homeland? They're dangerous. They're scary. They're going to... What? What do you expect? They're going to hurt people? They're going to corrupt our ideals. He's just afraid. It's just fear. And that's the root of most racism or stereotyping and whatever. So it makes perfect sense to me that this kind of a person would be afraid in this kind of a way. And then we have our banger conversation between Greta and this guy. You split them up in order to keep the military from realizing their strength. You would do the same, given the juggernauts, after seeing the combat reports. Even if we ever so kindly took them in, they would never forget the battlefield. And Greta is of the opinion that that's not exactly true, because they are still kids, they are still malleable, they can still change. There's still a chance for them to not be set as this forever. And so she wants to wait until the day when they can make that choice for themselves. This is a solid perspective from somebody in a position of authority over teenagers. I do think that they'll still choose the battlefield. Our squad of 86s in particular will. It's conjecture, it's speculation whether they will or not, but I still think they will because they've done it before. And they had that time in town, right? That time in the Federacy to experience Christmas or not Christmas, whatever it is in this world, and all the things like that. And that whole episode really, I felt, dealt with this problem, that the 86 can experience this lifestyle of being normal people, and it's a grand boon that they can, but the battlefield calls to them. Now, that being said, maybe it's not so much that the battlefield calls to them, but the threat calls to them. The call to action calls to them. There is a threat against all of humanity, and they have answered and continue to answer the call. If there were not such a threat, would they still want to be soldiers? Probably not. Maybe not. Might be wrong, but maybe not. So maybe she's right. Maybe she's wrong. I don't know. Someday they might get used to this country. And even if they were to still choose to live on the battlefield, I want to wait for them to choose it on their own. Pretty cool. Do you have a duty to go that far? And she says, of course, it's our responsibility for arrogantly trying to save our fellow humans. I really like that. As though they were a drowning puppy is what her line is. For arrogantly trying to save our fellow humans. The arrogance inherent in looking at somebody and saying, I know what's best for you. Right? It's inherently arrogant. I like that call out of that perspective. And you think a bloody blade can understand human feelings. He also said a line earlier that I really liked as well. A blade that is too sharp will either be avoided or used until it is broken. I like that line a lot. It's self-explanatory. I don't feel like we need to delve into it too much, but I like it. A perfect blade is either too dangerous to hold or it will be used constantly. You know, it reminds me, there's a knife in our kitchen. It's a KitchenAid knife. It's one of the ones with like a light plasticine coating on the most of the blade except for the very edge. And it's purple. Or actually no, the one that I'm thinking of is pink. It's pink. And it is the sharpest fucking knife in this house by a long shot. Tomatoes, no problem. Flesh straight through to bone, no issue. Multiple people have cut themselves on that knife just doing other tasks by not expecting quite how sharp it is. It's the kind of knife where, you know, most blades you can like put your thumb to it actually press your thumb to it and it won't cut you. It needs movement in order to slice. This one will cut you, like just straight up. It will just cut you. It's really sharp. And there are two kinds of attitudes toward that knife among the people who live here. Either you're like me and you go, I need the sharpest knife every time. Yes, I'm cutting an apple. I want the sliciest fucking apple ever. I want to be cutting those cells in half. Oh yeah. Or they hard avoid that knife and never ever use it because it's too slicey and too sharp. What he says rings true to me, both as the analogy for people and as the actual like physical thing that he's talking about. It makes sense, and I like that in my writing. So good. Okay, so do you think a bloody blade can understand human feelings? We made the same bet before. Do you remember? I won then. And the Legion took all your winnings. Says yes, pulls out 2 dog tags electrical tape together and a ring on one chain. It says great. I think that might be Grete. Wenzel or Ventseru is her last name. That was all I was looking up. So this is her dog tag, Greta Ventseru, right? So that's her dog tag. The ring is an unknown, very thin ring too, not a wedding band, like an engagement band, but maybe that's just a mistake in the drawing. Greta, you simply see the dead in them. That's all. So this conversation about taking all your winnings. Here's my read on this. She bet him that a group of soldiers could feel human feelings or something like that. Had her own squad of some kind, probably in the Air Force, and they all died. The Legion took all your winnings, right? She made some kind of bet and got leadership or the squad or something in exchange for it, and then lost it all to Legion. Interesting. Very interesting elements. I hope we'll find out more about this. We get this classic moment. You see the dead in them. You see what you can never get back. So what? And then she requests the big boomer, which is rad. I think the setup for this whole thing is excellent. I also really like the shot of them coming out of the elevator, way in the background, way in the background, all little tiny people. It gives us a sense of the scale of this giant underground hangar, and that's cool. It's rad. It gives us a sense of scale of everything, and I like it a lot. Especially, I mean, I was complaining about sense of scale stuff yesterday in Gundam, and this is the way to do it, and it's great. So she explains the whole thing. It is a plane that uses the ground effect, which is a really cool idea. I will look that up now, but I mean, it makes sense to me, as opposed to using the Bernoulli effect, which creates like decompression of faster moving air. You know, not decompression exactly, but like a variation, variegation, difference, separation, whatever, separation into planes of air and creates lift because of it. This would be using the compressive force of air driving under the giant wings and into the ground to compress that air and make it dense and create like a cloud that the whole giant ship sort of go over. Of course, there would be problems with it, that they do throw out those problems, and she's like, no, there are no buildings, it won't be an issue at all. And I'm like, rocks, trees, old telephone poles, metal spikes, anything that sticks up from the ground, and you're fucked. And you're so fucked. But fine, whatever. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look up the ground effect. Mostly used on water in reality, because water's actually relatively flat, and things not being flat is the biggest problem with them, mostly. Okay, she puts out this name, and Frederica says, what a terrible name, and I nodded because I was like, yeah, that sounds awful. But then she explains why, and I'm fascinated by it. It's an old vampire legend, and we get, it's crucial that we get this as a painted onto the side thing on this ship, because it echoes the call signs and the symbols placed on each of the juggernauts, right? It's something about the nature of the beast, right? It rises from its grave. Immediately there's a connection. Who is Sheen? Sheen is the gravekeeper. Sheen is the one who puts people in their graves, the undertaker, right? Not the gravekeeper. The gravekeeper just walks around and makes sure that no hoodlums are around. The undertaker is the one who puts people in their graves. The gets up out of its grave, rises from its grave and wanders the graveyard, while dragging its shadow behind it, and rings the church bell. An undead vampire who rises from death drags its shadow behind it. That has some meaning to me. You can read into it as much as you want. And rings the church bell. Dong. There's something about that works. And Frederica raises the question, and then what? If we do get there, will we even be able to win? And even if we do, will we be able to get out? What the fuck is this? That's crazy. And we get this beautiful moment of everyone standing there. And then these flashes of all the eyes. Dink, dink, dink. Nobody wants to tell her, but they all know what's up. I'm not going to worry about how we get back. So do you want to ignore it? Frederica doesn't want them to go and get killed. Response is, so are you going to ignore it? It's the right response. There's a giant threat. A problem. A letter from the IRS in your mailbox. Whatever it is, it's something that you don't want to face because it's scary. Are you going to ignore it? If you ignore it, it's just going to get worse. If you ignore it, you can't stop it. If you ignore it, you lose agency. You make the conscious choice to lose agency over it. And it shuts her up for a sec. And then we do our joke about her being the pilot. Great. And throwing a tantrum about not leaving? It's not a tantrum! Why do I have to be the only one to leave? I can't leave. I'm a hostage. We'll make an exception because you're the president's daughter. She goes off. Her voice actress goes absolutely off. Whatever reservations I have about how she sounds actually, she's belting into the microphone here, and it's dope. It's dope. The one who said that nobody else has the right to decide how you live, so how dare you do it to me? Well, I'm trying to protect you. And also, don't get involved in someone's death if you don't have to, implying that he's expecting his own death, because of course he is. Ugh. And I don't need you because I remember the voice of that legion. But this isn't how it should be. You should be the one safe. You shouldn't die in a plan like this. Why are you so insistent on sending us back to the rear? Didn't you want us to kill your knight? Or maybe you don't really want them dead at all. Well, it's really simple. She doesn't want you dead. Simple. She just doesn't want to lose you. It's sad. It's hard. It's rough. I like that she throws this and it hits the light switch and creates this shocking moment. You can't do this to me. You did this. Why can't I? And you realize at some level that having no goal, no place to call home, clinging only onto pride to keep you alive is what made that pathetic ghost what he is. Do you want to end up the same way? I'm not him. You can see me in him if you like. But I don't want to be forced to join in your regret and atonement. It means nothing to me. Don't pull me into it. Brutal. Brutal for Machine. You regret not telling your brother, right? We show his shirt pocket where he's keeping that piece. So why are you doing it to me? And we get the tears. Good tears. Don't want you to die. Rough. All right, and we prep up and get ready to roll. Mission, everybody's ready. Mr. Guy is on the phone with everybody, and he gives a nice little speech. You're the core of this mission. Also, come back. We'll see, man. We'll fucking see. I don't know if that's an order that we can really accomplish. And he stops the thing and says, "Come back no matter what, or I'll destroy this world." What? I mean, okay. But what? I mean, okay, but what? Doesn't strike me as the type. Actually, he does strike me as the type. That's the weird part. I think the countdown is done admirably. It's done excellently. It really ramps the tension up in a wonderful way. Get the big speech from him and the charge from all the soldiers as they readied themselves to fight and take the battle to the Legion for the first time. I like that we show, these multiple fronts across everywhere. And I couldn't help but think when we saw this scene, oh goodness, what a perfect place to fly the Nacht, except for the giant telephone poles sticking up out of the ground. What would, they would fly over to this area and have to stop and be like, shit. There's we can't go around. There are trees over there and telephone poles here, and we're fucked. We guess we're walking, or Juggernaut walking. What the fuck? Okay, and we go into battle. We do the launch. The launch itself was cool. I was hoping that it would be cool, and they made it cool, and I am deeply pleased because thank God. Thank fucking God. This is rad, and the sound effects are dope, and the implied speed is insane, and I didn't realize that it would be, but then I did the quick maths, and it's like 600 kilometers per hour, and that's fast. So yeah, makes sense. Whoosh, and off they go, and the battle commences, and this is the coolest goddamn shot that we've had in a while. Federation soldiers, mechs, dying, putting up an incredible stand to draw all those Legion away and clear the path that we see them traversing on the left. Oh, that's juicy. Oh, that's spicy. Oh, that's tasty. Yum, 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 yum. Delicious. We get one last little moment. They aren't retreating. Just hang in there a little more. And then those goddamn disgusting 86 will. Then we'll win. Then those goddamn disgusting 86 will save us all. I can't help but think of the line from Theo in the previous episode. We're 86. This is what we do. They'll save us all. There's something else to it. Once again, as before, the 86 are sent on a suicidal mission to save the entirety of the rest of the populace, but not themselves. To save everybody else, but not them. They're told to come back, but we know that that's almost impossible. Out they are sent to save everyone else, just like they were sent dozens of times to save the Alba, to save San Magnolia, to prevent damage to that city, that nation. And now they're doing it again. They're sent by a power that they're not a part of. I mean, a national power that they're not really a part of, to accomplish an impossible task, and they're likely to die. What's the difference? There are two differences, two big ones. The first difference is they were given the choice. They could have said no. Earlier, way earlier. They could have said, no, we don't want to go back to the battlefield. Fine, we'll just be citizens. They didn't. They're choosing this. They've chosen this path for themselves. And not the false choosing of they were going to be sent anyways, they might as well choose to do it. Align themselves with the requirement, right? Not like that. They're really, truly choosing it. And the second huge difference is what's going on the right side of the screen right there. The Federacy soldiers aren't sitting back in some marble building, sitting in their, plush desk chairs, just giving them orders. The Federacy is spilling its own blood. The Federacy is fighting for them and with them and alongside them. And that's what this scene evokes to me. This is a desperate, suicidal battle on every front, and they're not the only ones being sent into their deaths. Not by a long shot. Thousands of them are dying right now. Right now. Just to give them the chance to save everyone. Even though they hate them. Even though they resent them. Some of them do, at least. Those goddamn disgusting 86. They can't help but put their hope in them. Nordlicht Squadron had a mascot, and it was Frederica. But now the Federacy, as a whole, has a mascot. And it's the Squad of 86 that they're hoping beyond hope, will accomplish the impossible. Sick! Okay, that's a wrap. Thanks so much for watching this reaction to 86 episode 18. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope to catch you next week for more. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.